of numbers. Rule. Rule. So, also it can be called divisibility test of numbers. Remember, there's nothing like divisibility divide. We are not dividing. We are testing. So we are testing if a number or numbers are divisible by other numbers. So here, we are going to start with divisibility rule of numbers. And here we have 2, 5, and 10. We know table 2, we know table 5, and we know table 10. I told you, it's very easy tables. And once we have done with the multiplication table, but if you're new here and you have not gone through the multiplication series, do for yourself justice. You are smart enough not to know the tables. So go and apply that table, go through those lessons, and ensure that you are with us. So here we have divisibility rule of 2. Or we can call it divisibility test of 2. So why are we calling it divisibility test of 2 or divisibility rule of 2? We want to know, when is a number divisible by 2? When can we say 2 is dividing another number? That is divisibility rule of 2. It is telling us when 2 can divide another number. So, when can you say a number is divisible by 2? Yes? Now, what will you be checking at? You'll be looking at the last digit. A number is divisible by 2 if the number is even. And when can we say a number is even? An even number ends with 0, it ends with 2, it ends with 4, it ends with 6, and it ends with 8. Any number that ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 are said to be an even number. So what can we say? Let us write and say a number is divisible by 2 if what? A number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is even. A number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is even. Correct. Then what is an even number? An even number is a number that ends with 0, it ends with 2, it ends with 4, it ends with 6, it ends with 8. You say that that number is even. So from here we can have something further. Let us write further and say that i.e. if the last digit, if the what? If the last digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. If the last digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So, even numbers that are divisible by 2. Number that is divisible by 2, the last digit ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So no matter the longest, no matter how long the number is still divisible by 2. So just look at the last digit. So there's a reason why we are having 2, 5, and 10. Meaning that these are the numbers, or these are the rules we are looking at their last digits. So to know if a number is divisible by 2, look at the last digit. If the last digit is 0, if the last digit is 2, if the last digit is 4, if the last digit is 6, or if the last digit is 8, then we say that that number is divisible by 2. So, an example here. What can you be told? You can be told to check if some numbers are divisible by 2. So, check if the following numbers check if the following numbers are divisible. Check if the following numbers are divisible by 2. So which numbers are those? 1, 478. 478. 2, which is our B, 872,550. Then C, we have 6,701. So you're being told to check if these numbers are divisible by 2. What are you going to do? We say we are not being told to divide these numbers by 2. We are being told to check, or you are being told to test whether, test or check if these numbers are divisible by 2. What will you do? You will come. When is a number divisible by 2? A number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is even. Or you can say if the last digit, so I have last, no problem, just have 1. If the last digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Once you know that, come and say, solution. A, what do you have? 478. Is 478 divisible by 2? We don't need to divide this one by 2. We just need to test. So look at this. The last digit, the first, second, third. So the last digit is 8. Is 8 among the values here? Yes. So you say that the last digit is 8. So you say that, therefore, 478 is divisible by 8. 478 is divisible by 8. You just check the last digit. You don't need to divide it by 2. Instructions, very simple. Test or check whether the following numbers are divisible by 2. And you know, a number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is even, or if the last digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So you just test. B, what do I have as B? B, we have 872,550. So these are 6-digit number, but we are not scared. Why? We have been told that a number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is even. So no matter how long the number is, look at the last digit. The last digit here is 0. You see, 0 is one of the digits we say that this number must end with for it to be divisible by 2. So if 0 is one of the numbers, we say that a number must end with. So we say that the last digit is 0. The last digit is 0. You say that therefore 872,550 is what? Is divisible by, so this one is divisible by 2, is divisible by 2. So a number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. This number, the last digit is 8. It is divisible by 2. This number, the last digit is 0. Is divisible by 2. Now, the next one. C. What do you have? 6,701. 6,701. No matter the number, what do we need to look at? We need to look at the last digit. We know that a number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So here, the last digit is 1. So you say, therefore, you don't need to argue. You just write 6,701 is not divisible. It's not divisible by what? It's not divisible by 2. As simple as that. Then you move to divisibility rule of 5. Divisibility rule of 5. Divisibility rule of 5. So already we are done with divisibility test. After we are done with the multiplication, everything now will be very easy. We just need to focus. So here, divisibility rule of 2 done. Divisibility rule of 5. Also, that's the next thing. When can we say a number is divisible by 5? When can you tell somebody that this number is divisible by 5? So once we know that, that is leading us to divisibility rule of 5. Telling when a number is divisible by 5. That's the divisibility rule of 5. Or we can say divisibility test of 5. When can you say a number is divisible by 5? Correct. We look at the last digit. The last digit must be 0 or the last digit must be 5. As simple as that. So, can you write that? So, let me write as you write. A number is divisible. A number is divisible by 5 if the last, a number is divisible by 5 if the last digit is 0. So I'm writing 0 in words and 0 in figures in bracket. Is 0 or 5. A number is divisible by 5 if the last digit is 0 or 5. So once we know when a number is divisible by 5, we just need to check what? We check the last digit. If the last digit is 0 or if the last digit is 5, we say that that number is divisible by 5. So this one will bring us to an example 2 here. This one will make example 1. You're being told that test whether the following numbers are divisible. Test whether the following numbers are divisible by 5. So the instruction is very easy. You are told to test whether the numbers are divisible by 5. Test. Don't divide the numbers by 5. You're being told to test if they are divisible by 5 or not. So we are not going to divide them by 5. But we are going to check. Now, the first number, what do you have? We have 120. B, what do you have? We have 75. C, what do you have? We have 98. A number is divisible by 5 if the last digit is 0 or 5. And you're being told to test this. Seriously? So, solution, you'll come and say your solution here. A, we have 120. The last digit is 0. So you just say the last digit is 0. In bracket, 0 in figures. The last digit is 0. So if the last digit is 0, we know it is divisible by 5. So you say 120 is divisible. By what? By 5. As simple as that. We don't need to argue. We don't need to debate. And things like this, you don't need to go to the moon and come back for you to understand. No, it is very simple. As easy as A, B. B, what do you have? We have 75. 75, look at the last digit. The last digit is 5, correct. So if the last digit is 5, What do we say? We say that the reason the last digit is 5. Then after writing this reason, you write therefore 75 is divisible by 5. C, what do we have as our C? C, we have 98. 98. This is now the first digit, the last digit is 8. So you say the last digit is 8. If the last digit is 8 and number is divisible by 5, if the last digit is 0 or 5. And here, what do you have? The last digit is 8. So if the last digit is 8, meaning that the number is not divisible by 5. So you say that 98 is not divisible. 98 is not divisible by 5. And you have given your reason. You give the reason the last digit is 8 and number is divisible by 5 if the last digit is 0 or 5. Here the last digit is 8, the number is not divisible by 8. Here the last digit is 5, the number is divisible by 5. Here the last digit is 0, the number is divisible by 5. Now, the last one, divisibility rule of what? Of 10. You're being told, how can you tell a number is divisible by 10? Easy. The last digit must be what? Good. The last digit must be 0. So, here, divisibility rule of 10. Divisibility rule of 10. You want to know, you can tell from a distance, oh, that number is divisible by 5. Oh, you can tell from a distance that the number is divisible by 5. Oh, that one is not divisible. You are not being told to divide them. You are being told to check. And why are we learning these things? Don't worry. Because one day, you can be told, you are in a hurry, then you're being told, divide this. So you want to know, is it divisible or not? You say, if it is divisible, you go ahead and divide. If it is going to give you problems, we are trying to avoid problems. So the reason why we are learning this is to identify problems, then avoid them. And if there is need to solve the problem, then you solve the problem. So here, divisibility rule of 10. What are we saying? A number is divisible by 10 if the last digit is 0. Write that down. A number is divisible. A number is divisible by 10 if the last digit is 0. So I'm writing 0 in words and 0 in figures so that I emphasize it is this 0 I'm talking about here. A number is divisible by 10 if the last digit is 0. Already we know. So you can be told an example 3 here. Example 3. You can be told, check or test whether or confirm. So test whether the following are divisible. Test whether the what? The following are divisible by 10. Test whether the following are divisible by 10. So if you're being told to test, don't take your calculator and start dividing or testing using a calculator. No. You are not going to think, and no shortcut. We are in this together. We have to make maths as easy as possible. So test whether the following numbers are divisible by 10. Just need to show. You need to show, are they divisible by 10 or not? So A, what do you have? 120. B, what do you have? 9,800. C, what do you have? 123. And D, we have 11,281. So we will want to test if the following numbers are divisible by 10. Now, solution. We'll say A, 120. So 120, look at the last digit. The last digit is 0. So the last digit is 0. Therefore, 120 is divisible by 10. 120 is divisible by 10. So the word divisible by 10, in simple terms, we can say 120 can be divided by 10, or 10 can divide 120. 120 can be divided by 10. Then B, what do you have? 9,800. No matter how long the number is, or how big it looks like, no, we just move to the last digit. Will tell us the answer. So here the last digit is 0. Here the last digit was 0. So you say, what is your reason? The last digit is 0. The last digit is 0. You say that 9,800 is divisible. Is divisible means that it can be divided. It is divisible by 10. So it can be divided by 10. Now, look at the C and D, please. Can you test whether C and D are divisible by 10? Then write for us the answer in the comments